Hey everybody, welcome to the Bitcoin video today. It is just approaching 5 o'clock p.m. on Monday, July 13th, 2020. And I want to talk a lot about Bitcoin today. Of course, before I get into any of this, you guys know the deal. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, manage your own risk, doing your own research. And I'm just giving my little old opinion here in the market. If you want access to our Discord server, just throw in a comment here in the YouTube chat, and I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the glorious charts here. I'm going to take a look at a couple things. So I've titled this video dealing with volatility. So I want to talk a little bit about volatility, and I also want to talk a little bit about the count, right? So I'm talking about the count that we've got here. All right, so let's take a look. So we have outlined this, quite a few different times. And quite a few times we've taken a look at this. I'm going to remove that fib pull. I'm going to actually kind of pull this thing out because this looks like a breakout. This looks like a breakout. I will say that we do have some resistance up here at about 95, and then on top of that, we have continued resistance levels above, and then of course we've got our support zones down below. So I would expect there to be a decent amount of liquidity on both sides here. So if we push up to 95, I expect there to be a push down. If we push down to 89, I expect there to be a bounce there. We're just sitting right inside of this little range, and we've just been ranging here. If I turn on the volume profile, let's just take a look at the volume profile on this, because it's quite interesting. Look at all of that volume that we've got here in this zone. We've got our controllable region sitting here right about 9,050 all the way up to 9,600, and we've got our high volume nodes. I mean, we're basically sitting right below the point of control, which is basically at 92.85. 92.81. That's where our point of control is. And we're bouncing around a little bit. We'll have to wait and see what happens. If I zoom out on this and get a little bit more in here, let's just pull this out and just take a look at this whole. Either we're still trying to figure out whether or not this is distribution or accumulation here, but still this 9,300 level is like it is our level to really pay attention to. I mean, you can see here, if you just take this point of control all the way across, you've got resistance, you have clustering, you've got support, you've got resistance, you've got support, you've got support back here, and then finally it's resistance, resistance, resistance. We pushed up and then we got rejected, and we've just been kind of rejected there ever since. So let's go ahead and pull that out, get rid of our volume profile. And so let's just take a look here. So we've got a range, we've got this range here, which we've been kind of paying attention to, with our upper back up here at about 98.50 and our lower all the way down here at about 86, about 8,600 exactly. And then our median sitting right here. We had some support here at the median, but again, from this downtrend where we've got a touch here, we've got a touch here, we've got a touch here, that's 3 touches, and then we had a little bit of resistance there. We pushed up, got rejected. Now we're currently trading above it. So I have to have a little bit of a bullish bias here. Have to have a little bit of a bullish bias. But again, what it looks like, it looks like we do want to push down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Give it some time. Probably make it down to about 91, 91.50. I'm very interested to see what happens there. What I will say, and we talk about this all the time. When we talk about this all the time, we had the 12-hour trigger to sell up here at about 93.25. Okay, and now we're sitting here in about 92, 92.50 or so. That 12-hour has crossed bearish, and it's all but confirmed bearish at this point. Well, of course, we have the indicator that says this. It's good for swing traders to, get on a good trade short, and then watch. And you see this happen back here as well. I don't underestimate these signals when I see them on the indicator that we wrote. We've got a bearish cross, and now we had a dump. We had a bearish cross, and then we've fallen. Now the big question is, are we done, right? So this dump here looks very different than this dump here. This was a lot more pronounced, a lot more direct. I tend to believe that we do have a little bit further to go. All right, so now let's just go ahead and pull this out here. So we've got a 1, 2, 3. I believe this was the 4, and I believe this was the 5, based on what I see here now. Based on what I see here now, I believe that is complete. I believe that cycle is done. And then what we have done here, we've got from the bottom, you have an A, B, C to the A, and then you've got an A, B, C into the B, A, B, C into the C. All right. that works out pretty well. And I did announce to the Discord, and again, if you want access to the Discord, just throw in a comment, and I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. Boiling Crypto, hello, good to see you in here. So I was talking on the 10th of July about having some bids at 91.20, 91.60. My 91.20 didn't fill. I missed that by about $4. My 91.60 did. And then later on the 12th, I said I'm setting some sell orders at 93.50 to 93.90, stop loss at 94.50, looking for a move to 8,700. So I announced that on July 12th at about midnight Eastern time, 93.50 to 93.90. And where did we go? We went all the way up to 93.78.50. So 93.50 hit, right? My 93.90 didn't. Very common. I have a low ball order or a high ball order, and they don't hit, and that's okay. Some of that did get filled, so I'm currently short. I'm currently short. The entry was right around up here. When I saw this indicator flip, I waited a couple hours to see what was happening, and then I went ahead and got into that trade at about 93. It might have been like 92, 98 or somewhere along those lines. So right now I'm just sitting waiting. I'm just sitting waiting for this to really resolve. The 3-hour cross bearish. The 1 hour still has a little room to go. The 12-hour is bearish. So I have to have a little bit of a bearish bias right now. But I do have to be looking for dips to buy spot because we're currently trading above this trend line. This trend line is important. All right. But if this is the case, if this is what is happening, then basically what I see here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a 1, A, B, C into a 2. Then I see 5 into a 1, 3 into a 2, 5 into a 1, 3 into a 2. So do we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? That would be very interesting if that was the case, because that would indicate basically that we have a long way down to go. I mean, significant long way down. If this is what is happening, this level right here would have to remain, and we'd have to blow through some of these support zones, and we need to do it this week. It has to happen this week. Otherwise, my opinion, we're going up, we're not going down. If we end this week just even flat, I would say we're going to be moving up. Okay, so just don't get caught in a bias that we have to move down. Like, I'm short, so of course I'm going to favor a move to the downside. But if we start to move back up closer to 9,300, if we start closing above 9,300, I'm going to get out of that short position and I'm going to just sit. I'm just going to sit in my spot buys, right? So I'm considering this short position a hedge because, again, as I mentioned, I have my spot buy that hit at 91.60. I've got that lower bid; it's still there, but nonetheless, I'm hedged at this point. So I'm just gonna kind of say it that way. I'm hedged. But if we've got a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 here, we should see accelerated selling starting soon. It should happen, within the next 24 hours even. But let's talk a little bit about the volatility. I'm going to go into BLX here. I'm going to take a look at this, and we're going to take a look at our Bollinger Bands. We're going to take a look at our volatility here. We're going to be moving to, all right, so on the weekly, sorry, the daily, let's look at the daily. We've got contracting bands, and you can see this. This is the shadow that's here. I'm going to get rid of some of these because these are a little older. All right, get rid of that. Get rid of that. If we close above this, by the way, extremely bullish if we get above that. For right now, this is our major resistance to keep an eye on. And let me just zoom out just to kind of show this to you guys so that you're not seeing this. And all right, so basically I've got from the top here to the bottom down here, we have an 8-to-1 ratio that takes us our trend line up here and it hit the top perfectly. Then we have from the top up here all the way down to the bottom right here. Again, the 8-to-1 ratio takes us, we're looking here at about, right now it's sitting at about 10.9, almost 11K. But, if this is consolidation and we're going to move up, I would say we're probably going to make that spike up and then we're going to get a rejection. We'll have to wait and see. But again, the volatility is very, very low. The volatility is very low. It's not as low as what we saw back here, okay? Just take a look at how tight these bands were back here, okay? Very, very tight. And again, take a look at this, where we were down at the bottom. We moved up to the top, we had a rejection, and then it just completely fell through the floor. All right. So this is, what I would consider extremely tight volatility. So let's zoom out. Let's take a look at where we are right now, because it's not the same as it was, right? It's not the same as it was. It's still lower volatility wise than we've seen really. I'm just taking a look here. It's similar to this guy right here, but I think it's actually less. So the last time we saw volatility this low was way back here in March of 2019. March of 2019, before we had the big move to the upside. Okay, that was really the last time that the volatility was as low as it is today. We've had decreasing volatility, and again, just pulling into this, taking a look at this. We are having this move to the upside. We're starting to move down. Let me throw my median on here. So if you were ever curious on Bollinger Bands, what that median is, it is nothing more than, let's see the basis here. This is nothing more than a 20 simple moving average. That's all this is. So on the daily, we're still trading above this. We're still trading above the 20 simple moving average here on the daily. A break down below that, and that's sitting at about a 92.25. So we're actually pretty close to that right now. We're at about 92.46. If we close below that, and especially if we open and close below that, that is very, very bearish, because we've been holding above this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. A whole week we've been trading above the 20 simple moving average, but we're having a hard time breaking out. We're having a hard time breaking out, and you can see this level right here. Let me just outline that. That's I've got that outline there at 92.38. That is extremely important support because it was resistance here, lots of support back here. Okay, we can see it. Lots of support here. We're having same support here. Once we fall down below that, we should expect that to be resistance. Okay, we should expect that to be resistance. So we're watching this. If we do close below 92.25, I would say, and we're talking on the daily, I would say more than likely we're going to revisit the low down here at about 89.50. And if we don't see a spring, like we need to see wicks, right? So we've got these wicks that bring ourselves up. We constantly see these wicks, which means that we're seeing some absorption. What I'm not seeing is huge wicks on the upside, right? So that's optimistic. That's optimistic. Signs that there could be a move to the upside. The wicks that we're seeing are to the downside, which means sellers are selling, but there are buyers that are absorbing the price. And the demand is at 9,000. Okay, so the demand is definitely at 9,000. There's no doubt about that. So just keep an eye on that. So I just wanted to point that out. Let's move to a weekly and see what this looks like on a weekly. We're not seeing signs of compression on the weekly, okay? So on the weekly, we'll just take a look at this. Last time we had extremely small volatility, low volatility on the weekly was back here, same time frame on the weekly, okay? We had contracting Bollinger Bands, which indicated that there was, that didn't work out, let's try that again, which indicated that there was a lowering volatility here. So you can see right here, we were suppressed by the 20 weekly moving average. We made one last attempt there. I still remember this day where we had that move to the upside. It was rejected significantly. And then a couple weeks later, after basically sideways movement in October of 2018, we rolled over, we fell. Okay. So, as far as the weekly goes, I'm not seeing any signs of compression. It would not surprise me one bit for us to come back down and test that 20 simple moving average on the weekly, which is about 81.42. If that happened, I'd wait to see what happens there. But what a lot of people are talking about, is this right here. I'm going to try and keep this concise, but I do want to point out this right here. Let me fix this so it doesn't extend over to the right. Is the fact that we've got a contender for this as a left shoulder, this as a head, and this as a shoulder. And if that is the case, our upside target, if this worked out, you take it from the head up to the neckline. The neckline is sitting right here at about 10,450. we're going to pull our measured move on this. So we have a measured move to the upside. So here, I'm going to log. Let me get back to, yes. We're taking a look to about 17,000, if that is the case. That would be quite interesting if that happened, because the measured move, you play the breakout. So if this breaks up above 10,000, 450, you take that move up to 17,000, if that's the case. First thing that would have to happen, we would need to come down here. We'd need to curl, we need to move to the upside, and then we can see this move up and out that has the target of 17,000. Now another interesting thing here, and I'm just seeing this for the first time, and in case you guys aren't familiar, all my videos I do without any prep work, so I'm seeing these things for the first time right along with you. That measured move upside target matches the wicks from December 4th of 2017, the week of December 4th, 2017, also matches the wick on the week of January 1st, 2018. Okay, we'll kind of disregard this up here. The upside target, the measured move target from the bottom here, and measured from the neckline to the upside, a 100% measured move takes us up to 17,000. That's very interesting to me. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you guys, hey, you need to buy Bitcoin right now? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying you guys need to short Bitcoin right now? No, I'm not saying that. I'm here for educating. I'm here to talk about these different patterns. So maybe you guys can, get something out of this. I don't want to keep all of this knowledge to myself. I want to build a better trading community. If you can learn something from this, then that's wonderful. That's what I aim for. So again, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But again, inverted head and shoulders, potentially down to 65. Then we see that move up to 17. Okay, so that would be nice. That's about 150% profit, I believe, somewhere along those lines. So again, let's just measure it real quick because I'm interested now. Movement to the upside, yeah. So about 165% if that happens. If that happens, right? Just because I'm short doesn't mean that I'm telling you guys to short. Just because I'm long doesn't mean I'm telling you guys to long. I'm just educating you, telling you what I see when I look at the charts. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I'm long-term bullish on crypto, but I trade the charts. I like to be in trades for, just a short period of time, get in and get out. What I've found is if you're in a trade for a long period of time, I don't know, unless it's a really, really good trade, I like to get out of that trade. So anyway, if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And of course, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys in the Discord later. Take care, everyone.